Welcome to Climbing Together, the Small Business Experience. I'm Beth Houtrow, the founder of Climb the Small Business Book Club, and our episode today is brought to us by the Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center of the San Francisco Bay Area. Every episode, I talk to a small business owner about a mistake that they've made and what they learned from the experience. Mistakes are inevitable, perfection's impossible, so let's embrace the mistake. And today we're talking to small business owner Nicole Moreno-Deinzer. Nicole, tell us a little bit more about you and your small business.
Yes. So thank you so much for having me here, Beth. I'm so excited to just share and I'm excited for this podcast. So a little bit about me is I am a social media consultant. And so I work with a lot of small business owners when it comes to social media and digital marketing. I'm also the founder of a Latina lifestyle magazine called Epifania. So I remember when it was just me. Now we're a team of 10. So nice. Managing the team. And besides all that, I am a reader. I am an avid traveler, wife, and now a new cat owner. I'm like a week and a half in as a new kitty owner. And so I'm learning.
Congratulations. I'm so jealous. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So we're here to talk about mistakes. So tell me about a mistake that you made with your business.
I know. This question made me laugh because I'm like, just one mistake? I feel like any business owner that's honest with themselves has multiple mistakes. But the biggest one I think I did was I purchased merchandise for my magazine. So right, like year 2 of the magazine, it was like there was a lot of momentum. This is pre-pandemic, so we're doing a lot of in-person events, and people are like, "You should have merch to sell." I'm not a salesperson. The magazine's all about content, and so I was like, "Oh yeah, I should probably have merch." But instead of getting like that merch where you can just put a logo and it's like drop ship, I went all in. I found a designer. I found someone to like the screen printing, and it just cost a lot. And then therefore I had to mark up the prices for each piece of merchandise. And I didn't sell all of it, and it just didn't take off. And, it wasn't me, right? Because I had to save costs. So all the merchandise was like black t-shirt dresses, which I really love t-shirt dresses, but black has nothing to do with our brand. And it was just more work. And I ended up donating a lot of our merchandise to a local nonprofit because the merchandise had really empowering sayings. So at least it went to somewhere, but yeah, too much, too much.
So what did you learn from that?
Well, I learned to take a step back and not always compare myself to others. Other people might have had merchandise. So not to do that, right? To just figure out what do I want to do? And then also not everything requires me to have be all hands in, again, finding the designer, someone did the screen printing. I could have done something a lot easier and cheaper, and it just had the same effect. So.
Yeah. And see if people were going to buy it, right? If there was demand for it. Yep, that proof of concept. Totally. Okay, so we are a small business book club, and I know you're a big reader, all the books behind you. So what's your favorite business book and why?
So this is a hard one because I am a fiction reader. I don't read a lot of nonfiction. I read to escape and to relax. So I love a good fiction book.
I hear
so
you.
It takes a lot for me to read a nonfiction. I was like, all right. So, and as a small business owner, you're just always like, okay, I got to keep learning. So I'm looking at books. And one of my favorite ones so far is still You Are a Badass.
Okay. Yeah. I have it behind me. It's in the yellow section. Yeah.
I love the yellow. Yellow spoke to me. And then also just reading it, she's very sarcastic, and I felt like it was business advice, but also life advice, but it wasn't like you must do it this way. It's more like, girl, if you feel like doing it this way, that's okay. But if not, it's fine.
Right. Just like your mistake, right? Is you have to figure out what works for you, not what other people say. Yeah. I was always a skeptic on those kind of books. And then I started reading them and I was like, oh, this is helpful. It's helpful to have someone kind of in your ear saying, you got this, you can figure it out, it's going to work out. Because when you're running a small business, it doesn't always feel that way.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's awesome. Okay. And our last thing, this episode is brought to us by Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. And so I know that you are a coach for Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. So tell us a little bit about what you do and your relationship to that organization.
Yes. So I provide a lot of workshops when it comes to digital marketing, social media, and then also just one-off workshops where it has to do with like website design or how to use certain tools, really just making it quite easy for the small business owner. I know in these times, these small business owners don't always have the means to, hire someone, right? So it's nice just to provide them the knowledge so they could do it on their own pace with their own budget. And then I also do one-on-one coaching, which I always love because I feel like as a coach, you have to know a little bit about so many businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like one day I'm talking to someone that has like a flooring company, and then a person that has like a restaurant, and then another person that's like service based, and another person that has events. And I'm just like, this is a lot of different businesses that we all like, we have to just know a little bit about each of those industries.
When you learn so much as you're coaching, right? You inevitably learn a ton. And so it's very rewarding. I am also a coach at Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center, and it's so rewarding to meet so many different people and help so many different people, but learn from so many different people.
Yeah. Especially as the coach, if you learn also like, what do people actually need from you as a coach when you get asked like similar questions over and over again.
Absolutely. Well, Nicole, it has been great chatting with you. And if you'd like to meet Nicole and you're in the Bay Area, specifically in the Peninsula, come check out Renaissance Center. You can find it at renaissancecenter.org. And we look forward to seeing you soon, Nicole, and everyone else. Have a great day. This podcast is brought to you by Climb the Small Business Book Club, where entrepreneurs go to learn, discuss, apply, and grow. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to subscribe at Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, or follow us on Instagram at Climb Book Club. And always remember, mistakes are inevitable, perfection's impossible. So let's embrace the mistake.